It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube, and I'm very honoured and excited to be here with you today. Today is Monday the 13th of April and I'm here to share the cards for the whole week ahead. So we'll be looking at each day this week, and we'll be pulling a theme for this week as well. So very interested to see what comes up in the cards this week. I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. It's really something I'm really grateful for, and has helped me be able to continue being here as much as I can to share in these types of videos and the support and the resources that I create. So thank you so much for your support. And if you do want to support my work, please consider supporting it. Just have a look on my website at templeofbalance.com.au and see if there's anything there that resonates or supports you and something that you would love to purchase for yourself, because that helps me. So thank you. So we're here to pull some cards. I'm not pulling cards for individuals. This is general guidance for everyone. What I'm doing is using my combined deck today. So that's my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards, which is you'll find in this box on my website. And also it's combined with my Speed of Light Oracle cards, which is this box on my website. These cards have been created to be combined if you want to. So I'll be using this combined deck. We've got 110 cards in this deck, which is really exciting because it means, you know, those cards that we do get for each day, they come up especially, what am I trying to say? You know, the more cards we have in a deck, then the more important that card is when it falls on that particular day or that particular position in a spread, if we're doing a reading. If we have a 22 card deck, I mean, the odds of getting the same card in the same position are quite high, but the odds of getting a certain card in this deck in a certain position are not as high as a smaller deck. So I feel more excited about that we've got all these nice cards to work with today. So I'll be using this deck and I'll be looking for the best card for Monday the 13th of April, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So all through the week, and then I'll be looking for the best card for the theme for this week ahead. So again, I'm not doing personal readings here. This is general guidance for everyone. So I trust you've been led here for a reason. And I trust that something shared will be helpful and supportive for you. So please take on board what feels right, what resonates, what fits into your life easily at this time, and just let the rest go. So if it doesn't make sense, if it doesn't resonate, it's okay. It's probably information for someone else. So I'll trust my intuition as I share and deliver the messages today. And I encourage you to trust your intuition in regards to what you own, what you claim with this information. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to set up my board and we're going to get laying out some cards. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay. Welcome, if you just joined in. Okay, I have my board here and I'm ready to put some cards on it for the week ahead. So just a reminder, I'm shuffling this deck now and I'm looking for the best card for the majority of us for Monday the 13th of April, Tuesday the 14th, Wednesday the 15th, Thursday the 16th, Friday the 17th, Saturday the 18th, Sunday the 19th, and the best card for the theme for this whole week ahead. So usually I would say that stuff in my head, but because I'm doing this here with you, I think it's sometimes good to verbalize what I'd usually just be doing inside my own brain. So let's grab and trust that the best cards that we need, the majority of us for this week, will find their way to the top of the deck. And I split the deck. Let's put the deck down and grab these cards. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We've got pretty pattern already. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the theme for this whole week. So let's get straight into it. We're looking, and we're going to turn this card over. This is the best card for Monday the 13th of April. Monday the 13th, we have Tiger Claw, card 40, and it says, stand your ground, speak up, take action, and courage. There's an assertive nature to this card. In some situations, and for some of us, this may be encouraging us to clear the air, especially in an area of our life or in our relationship or connection we have with people in the workplace, people in the home, people in the family perhaps, where we need to step up, speak up, and clear the air. So there is the sense here that Tiger Claws wants us to get our claws into something. Doesn't mean we have to be nasty and aggressive. We can be assertive yet still be compassionate and still be kind. But there is this sense here of us needing to summon our assertiveness on Monday. So for some of us individually, this may not be clearing the air. Instead, it may be having the courage to face our fear. It may be stepping up and focusing on something to help pull us out of a rut. It may be our need to speak up and express how we feel, maybe in our journal, maybe to someone that we're close to. There might be a need for us to stand our ground. So there is an assertive energy coming in for Monday. See how that fits for you. Now this card is Tuesday, the 14th of April. And look at this. We have card 15, the Peacock. And the Peacock says increasing self-confidence. So we've got an assertive strength, courage, energy here, and this is not dissimilar. The Peacock is reminding us to take steps on Tuesday to increase our confidence with something. So there may be something that we've either lost confidence in or something that we don't have confidence in yet. And the thing is with confidence is that we're not going to suddenly get it overnight. It is something that we need to build upon. So if it's just a general sense of confidence, we may need to think about how we can get more clarity, because clarity tends to bring confidence with it. And confidence also brings clarity with it. So if we're feeling a bit unconfident with something, what can we do on Tuesday to boost our confidence, boost our abilities, boost our clarity in regards to what that thing is? So we can increase our self-confidence on Tuesday. So these are very solar plexus chakra kind of cards at the moment. So there is an emphasis here on personal power. Let's see what Wednesday's card is. This is Wednesday the 15th of April. And we have quite the opposite. We move down to the sacral chakra and we have card 20 called Rosemary. Rosemary says beauty, self-love, kindness, and balance. She has a softer feel. Can you feel that just from her illustration? There's a softness, whereas these feel stronger. So we might feel quite strong, focused, attentive, assertive, Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we may be really feeling like we need to sort of back off a little bit and move into an inner space for healing, for balance, for self-nurturing, a soak in the bath, some doing something gentle and nourishing and supportive. This is very much about reconnecting, because of this emphasis here at the crown, reconnecting with our heart and reconnecting with that inner space within us and the balance in our body and emotionally really on Wednesday. So this card here is Thursday, the 16th of April. And Thursday the 16th, we have card 38, the Ammonite. And the Ammonite says to clear private issues. So this is talking especially about issues or fear or stuff that we've been dealing with that's very personal and private. So these might be our own insecurities as well. And we're being encouraged and maybe even forced on Thursday to look at these things. These can include our fear, and of course, and quite understandably, this has been coming up for a lot of us in these last weeks. So we're being encouraged to let go of our issues. Now, there's a big difference between having a private issue that we face and we clear and we release, and keeping our issues, our private issues, bottled up. So this is now about taking the lid off the bottle and letting all those private issues be released. And we can do that and keep it private. It can stay private as long as we're owning it and acknowledging it ourselves. Working with our journals, a great private place to express that energy and get it moving and out. So as we get that old energy out, as we have the courage to take the lid off what we've been bottling up inside and let it out, we're also breaking down or taking steps to break down that shell that we've been housing ourselves in, the shell that we've been hiding behind. So there is great potential on Thursday for healing, for facing our bottled up issues, and for releasing them and breaking down the shell that we've been hiding behind. So this card down here is Friday the 17th of April, and we have card 48, the Wolf. And the Wolf says to secure those boundaries. So on Friday we may need to ensure that we're not giving our power away to something or someone, you know, even things like the virus and the fear around that. We could be giving our power away to that. Are we living in fear because of our fear of contracting the virus, for example? These are very real things that a lot of us are facing at the moment, and some more than others, depending on where we live in the world and where the sort of hot spots are, we could say, for, you know, outbreaks and things like that at this time. And sending loads of love to everyone who's struggling to deal with this sort of stuff. But Friday seems to be especially a valuable day for us to face where we're giving our power away. So where are we giving our power away, and how can we secure our boundaries and get our power back? So we have quite a powerful couple of days start potentially to the week. Then we turn inward and inward. And this is also quite inward, but it's looking at where we're giving this power that we're generating, where we're giving this away. So what's consuming us? What's obsessing us? What are we constantly thinking about that we can't get out of our mind? We're giving our power away to that. So even worry, we give our power away to that worry that we may be consumed with too. So this is very much self-reflecting. So where's our energy going, especially on Friday, and where do we need to bring our power back, return our power back into our body? And a part of that may be a need to secure our boundaries, to say no. And the no may be to our negative thoughts. The no may be to our addiction to watching the news, or our addiction to whatever it might be. It may be saying no to the things that are just taking over at this time. And it feels to be more on a mental level. So our mental attachments to things that are taking our power away and draining our body. Can we refocus, bring our power back, and refocus on something creative or something more positive that excites us? Now this card is for Saturday the 18th of April, and we have card 19, the Echidna. And the Echidna says or reminds us not to dwell on the details. So we need to be careful on Saturday that we're not dwelling on the nitty-gritty details, that we are not stopping to dig up the dirt on things. We're not stopping to complain about this thing and that thing. We're not stopping to just dig things up that are unnecessary, or the little details. This is about moving and keeping on moving and not stopping to dig things up, to dig up the dirt. You know, and just really not get up in other people's business as well, maybe connected with this. So let's ensure that we are focusing on our own life and doing the right things ourselves, and just keeping ourselves going as much as we can on Saturday. We've got a seed here. I forgot I drew that. It's a little seed. It looks like an apple. Could you you see that? It looks like a little apple, and it's got little roots coming out and a little sprout here. So this is actually highlighting that if we can keep going, and I'm seeing us, continuing to the finish line rather than stopping and scratching ourselves if we're in a race, I can see the echidna is just charging for the finish line. And if we can keep going and keep moving towards that finish line, whether it's something we're tying up, whether it's something we're finishing off around our home or around our life, if we can keep going, I feel like there's some new things that are being born right now as we continue. If we stop and dig things up and just scratch ourselves and not focus on the target of getting something completed or tying up a loose end of some sort or working on a project or just focusing on something that gives us some incentive to get up each day, then we may find ourselves getting lost in the big hole that we're digging. So let's keep going, especially on Saturday. Now, this is Sunday, the 19th of April. We have no featured cards. That's a change, although that might be, but we will see. This is Sunday, the 19th of April, and it's card 33, Gaia. It says spring, nature, message, listen, and life. This is about getting out into nature, if we can and if we're inspired to. And there's also a message here about life and really looking here at the bigger picture of what life means to us right now. So if we're dwelling on the details and the nitty-gritty stuff that we're digging a hole in and complaining about at the moment, then we're going to lose the bigger picture message of life right now. So if we can keep going and recognize when we're stopping to dig and stop ourselves by securing those boundaries, saying no to our own obsessive thoughts, then potentially on Sunday there is this beautiful opening. There is this message of life that we can tap into. And what that message is going to be personal. It's something about motivating or giving us a perspective shift that's going to help us see things from a new perspective, a new, broader, bigger perspective. This is the world here. This is the earth here within Gaia, this feminine energy. She represents springtime. She represents new beginnings. And she wants us to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Now, this card here is our theme card for the week ahead. And we've got really a mixed bag here. So very much internal stuff, actually, which is very much in line with what I talked about in the current energy report earlier. So we've got a very powerful start to the week, potentially maybe a little bit of a lull or a low point in the centre Wednesday, but that's nothing to worry about, and maybe Thursday. But if we can adapt our self-healing, self-nurturing, and just care for ourselves, it doesn't have to be a bad thing that we don't feel motivated. So when we feel motivated, potentially here, let's run with it. When we feel a little bit slower moving, we can run with that. And this will be really about looking honestly at ourselves. In fact, these 4 cards, Thursday through to Sunday, is about looking honestly at ourselves and our own thoughts and our own limitations, our own obsessions, our own addictions, our own attachments. And what about those things is keeping us in a hole or in a rut or shelled, barricaded away? Because there is great potential for breakthrough, but also this reconnection, a revived perspective on Sunday. So this card's the theme. It's going to help us see the bigger picture for this whole week ahead. Oh, look at this. It's the flamingos, and we had the exact same theme card last week. And do you remember at the very beginning, just a few minutes ago, I was saying about there being 110 cards in this deck? And each position here is extra special because out of any card that could come up in this spread, these particular cards have come up. And out of 110, that's really special. It's really significant. Now this card, Social Gathering, came up in the exact same position last week when most of the world is socially isolating. So this can seem a little contradictory because it's card 40 called Flamingos and it says social gathering. This is about social energy. And for some of us, we may feel like we're struggling with whatever personal stuff we're dealing with for the week around this lack of social gathering or this lack of social interaction in the physical. And this will likely, for some of us who are being quite affected by this, this will probably be a similar feeling to what we had last week. So let's look at how we can be social in different ways. And is our need to be social actually trying to fill a void of avoiding what we're holding and dealing with privately inside? Maybe what we're noticing lacking in our social calendar right now is actually bringing up other issues. So let's have the courage to let our social isolation, the challenges we're having socially, and the fear that our social interactions are having, because there is a fear, I'm going to contract the virus, or for me it's more about I wouldn't want to be unknowingly having the virus and passing it on. So that's more not what I'm fearing, but more of what I'm aware of. So there is this general fear around social gathering. There's a general push against it at the moment, and this is stirring a lot of things up for people. So as of last week and this week, there is probably something for us to look at in that. And this is something for us to personally explore, because it's going to stir up different issues for all of us. But if you're feeling especially missing of social interaction, then there will definitely be something to look at. But not dig deeply at too much. I mean, we want to look at what we're holding on to and what our issues are, instead of distracting ourselves by complaining. Instead of complaining because we can't socially gather, and complaining and then digging that hole, like the echidna sort of energy here, let's acknowledge, hey, I'm complaining about this. Why? Why am I complaining? Why do I feel like I'm missing this? What am I missing about it? And how can I turn this into a positive? And this will give us that movement that I feel here from the echidna of continuing to move forward, instead of stopping and dwelling or stopping and complaining about what's lacking, especially in regards to our social interactions at this time. But there are plenty of other ways we can connect socially. So keeping our distance and isolating is certainly very valuable at this time, as far as I can see, from my opinion. And, you know, it's going to bring up issues for us. People who have never felt alone are probably going to feel alone this week. So why? What are your fears and insecurities around that? Those types of things are probably going to come up. So let's find the courage and build our confidence to face such things and stop avoiding them. And then this card may stop coming up for our theme. Wow, so our flamingos, our theme again for this week. So see how that sits with you. You know, these are quite deep and perhaps quite confronting, some of these readings that are coming up, because I do feel this is such an important time for us to really look at ourselves and to look at those issues that we've been holding for decades, that we didn't even realize we were carrying because we were busy focusing on other things. We were keeping ourselves busy. So it's not until we stop, or we're not able or allowed to step out and do things like gathering socially, which is sometimes a distraction. So our distractions are turned off. So this is a grand opportunity for our healing and for our improvement. I can visualize, and I would love that when we emerge from this in months to come, so it's probably going to be months, when we emerge from this in months to come, I would love to see us really being the best versions of ourselves that we've ever been before, because we've had the courage to look deeply at our fear, our shadows, our obsessions, our addictions, our attachments to things. So working with your journal is probably going to be really helpful in supporting that, and you having the courage to look at yourself. Look at your warts. Look at your attitude. Look at your obsessions, the things that you complain about. What about you? If you were living with yourself, which you are, let's imagine you're another person in your own life. If you'd imagine living with yourselves, with yourself? What would be your gripe about your attitude or the way you speak or your mood or your imbalances, your insecurities? Because they shine through in our conversations, they shine through in our relationships and our life, and maybe more than we might realise. So if we're oblivious to what we are, how we're speaking, how we're thinking, how we're acting, if we're oblivious to that and we've spent our life distracting ourselves, it's going to be a bit of a confronting moment to look in the mirror and say, hey, I actually don't like the person that I am. I don't like this moody, negative person that complains a lot. And that's a huge wake-up call. I tell you, when you look in the mirror and you suddenly see that you're not who you thought you were. That happened for me about in 2008. That's when I had a big wake-up too, when I realised that I wasn't who I thought I was. It's a huge wake-up and it's a huge confrontation. And I'm seeing actually a lot of people going through this just in this last week. And by the look of it, we're potentially continuing that trend. So it's nothing to fear. Let yourself be confronted. Let yourself see who you really are and what's really been holding you back and what you've really been distracting yourself with. Because I would love it if in months to come, when we all finally emerge from the cocoon and the caves that we've been in, that we could come out shining so bright in our light and really knowing who we are. We have to strip away our ego and thinking we're something special, thinking that everyone should be doing what I say because, I'm God. I know what I'm talking about. We've got to let that sort of stuff go too, because it doesn't serve us and it doesn't serve anyone who's trying to share their life with us. So let's drop the ego. Let's drop the attitude. Let's drop our obsessions and our complaining and start scraping those things back and seeing who we really are underneath. We might be afraid to see. We might not like who we see. But let's uncover our true identities now. This is the week to do it, it seems. So let's flow with it and see how we feel. Thanks for joining me. I've used my combined Animal Kingdom Oracle cards with my Speed of Light Oracle cards. If you want to learn about these decks individually or both of them, please have a look on my website. They've been self-published and are being self-distributed, so they can only be purchased through my website. So please check them out if you'd love to work with them. They come with guidebook and they're very easy to use and really quite powerful. So check them out if you're inspired to. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you want to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. So some exciting news this week. If you haven't been watching my Facebook, I've had a wizard revival. I don't know if you were following my work about 5 years ago. I had this big excitement about creating these garden wizards. Hold on, I'll just grab you one and show you. I wasn't intending on it, but then I realised all my new wizards are over there. So I've been creating these new wizards. And this is number 2020 edition 05, and it's Vicky. So I've been creating these actually every day for the last 3. I've got 7 sitting there. Hopefully I'll get some more out today, but definitely more throughout the week. My aim is to make 20, and then I'll probably make more. So keep an eye out for those. If you want to follow them directly being made, I'm making them and sharing the process over at my Leanne Peters on Facebook. Not my personal profile, not the picture of Corey and I, but it's my public profile, Leanne Peters Artist. So please follow my page if you want to keep an eye on those, because they might help lighten your day. That would be cool. And also, for the first time, I was inspired by so many people asking me to start online one-on-one video art sessions. So video art sessions are now available. And I've already had some people booking in, so I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Most likely this week we'll be getting started. We've got children coming in. We've got people who have never, ever created before. And if you have some experience too, I'm certainly would be very happy to share my skills in sculpting or drawing and things like this, painting. You can, we can work on a project. So if you have your favourite animal, like a lion or an eagle or a bear or something that you would love to create your own piece of artwork of that particular animal, then certainly reach out. We can work together on that, and I'll offer you some tips and things as we go. If you want to learn how to use pastels, acrylic paint, drawing, do some art therapy, or just see what unfolds, work with shading and colour, then please have a look on my website. I'm really excited to get started on this. It's really strange because I don't know why I didn't offer it earlier. And it feels, I get that same feeling of anticipation and excitement about this, like I did when I very first started on eBay. I remember when I had a listing for a reading online. I'd done a lot of them in person, but I'd never done one distantly before. So I had them on eBay, and I had someone book to one, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I hadn't really thought about it. And my guides just said, just stop and imagine that person sitting right in front of you. And so, you know, I feel really excited, like I did back with those first sessions I did distantly, going into these art sessions. So I can see these being something really valuable. And I don't know how long they'll be about. It might only be while we're going through sort of isolation. I don't know if really and honestly I'm going to have time to do to offer them when we get back into the flow of things. But I'm not sure, maybe it's something that will stay. So if you want to take advantage of it, please have a look on my website at the art sessions. You can book one session, you can book 6 at a discount. See what you feel. But if you have this inkling or this pull towards creating, and you enjoy my energy and the way I work, the way I create, then it's very intuitive. I'm not going to be saying step by step, it's not going to be a structured session. It's very intuitive. So I'll just be working with whatever materials you have. I'll do it alongside you, offer tips and ways to approach whatever it is that we're going to be working on. So have a think about it if you want. I'm really excited. So if you want to learn more about that or the other things that I offer through my website or through Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. Thanks for connecting today. Have a fantastic week ahead. Don't forget to come back and connect with this resource as the week progresses. So pop back in on Thursday, pop back in on Saturday or throughout the week as inspired. Remember, this is here for you to support you throughout the week. Keep an eye out for my other videos. We've got a healing event tomorrow on my in my Pillar of Light private healing event. So I won't be in publicly to share. That will be my video for tomorrow. So I will likely be back in on Wednesday with something of some sort. So until then, take care of yourself and have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon. So namaste to you.